Senator Cherargei, Samson.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for this opportunity. Madam Speaker, I want to thank members for running to our refuge immediately. Madam Speaker, but Mr. Speaker, sorry. Mr. Speaker, I want, while I rise to oppose this amendment, Mr. Speaker, I would request that that we proceed with the matters of the House. I think I agree this is a very important bill, in fact, for all of us, under Article 210. Mr. Speaker, I rise to oppose any reduction to counties. Because when you look at 380 billion, there were 2 financial years, and I think the mover said where we had 316 billion. Even in the last financial year, which is 2023-2024, counties got through shareable revenue 385 billion, Mr. Speaker, sir. So in fact, I remember 401 billion, which before this amendment came, was out of mediation as per Article 113 of the Constitution. Mr. Speaker, I had expected the Finance and Budget Committee to come and give us the report what they have considered. But I'm happy the mover has indicated that let's allow the committee to come up with proper numbers. But I think 401 billion is the minimum we took for counties as a protected through mediation process, Mr. Speaker. While we appreciate that counties still struggle, they cannot account for money. We don't see developments, Mr. Speaker. We don't see functionality of counties. While we are agreeing that the best thing that has ever happened to this country is devolution, Mr. Speaker, sir. So on this aspect of reduction of money going to counties, Mr. Speaker, I want to say that I object and agree that let us retain 401 billion to go to counties. In fact, my proposal is very simple, and I'm happy members of Finance and Budget are here. We need to scrap off money that is meant for CDF, because the CDF kitty, which was increased, increased per county, Mr. Speaker, sir, is unconstitutional. Even that matter is still in Supreme Court, Mr. Speaker. So even we should not look far. We should just take money that was being allocated to an illegal entity called CDF, take that money, give it to counties. In any case, CDF almost has similar functions of counties, Mr. Speaker, sir. Because as we talk, the construction of classrooms, ECDs are being constructed by counties. The issue of construction police stations, those are things that the national government can do, Mr. Speaker. So I propose, we don't need to get money from anywhere. Let us scrap CDF, take the money that was allocated to CDF. If there is any money that needs to be cut off, is the CDF, so that the money going to counties cannot be touched, Mr. Speaker. Even on the issue of bursaries, we have agreed. And I don't see the need, even the justification, Mr. Speaker, sir. You saw the Speaker of the National Assembly proposing that we amalgamate the bursaries. There is already a proposal within Parliament to bring bursaries into one basket. So I don't see any justification why we should still allocate money to CDF through bursaries that they give out through CDF. Yet as a country, we have agreed that let us put all money that was in bursary from national government affirmative action, CDF, from the Ministry of Education. Let us put it in one basket, make education free, allow each and every Kenyan child to walk into school without necessarily the bureaucratic process of obtaining bursary funds, Mr. Speaker, sir. It is sad that we want to ask control our budget. There is still unclear how controller budget approves payments to counties. Mr. Speaker, can you believe it is all the counties have a pending bill of almost 120 billion Kenya shillings, Mr. Speaker, sir. And we have a problem with voiding of payments, where when counties apply, they apply with company Y, but when they get approval of payments, they pay company X through voiding of payments process, Mr. Speaker. We want to ask control of budget that if there is any legislative intervention, say that when counties apply to pay companies, Mr. Speaker, sir, and I wish my chair of public accounts was listening, is that there is a dark valley between in the issue of voiding of payments, Mr. Speaker. And I'm happy the Finance and Budget Committee are here. They need to assist the control of budget. You might find in Kakamega County, Senator Boni, through the chair, they want to pay Company Y. But after release of funds by control of budget, they pay Company Z because of closeness to the governor or powers be within, even in Bomet and other counties, Mr. Speaker. So we must confront the issue of pending bills, Mr. Speaker. There are many people in our counties who are diabetic, who have pressure, because 5, 6 years, 10 years down the line, from 2013, they have not been paid their pending bills. We must agree as a country that there is a lacuna in law, especially on issues of voiding of payments in the country. So when you look at counties being owing pending bill of 120 billion, Mr. Speaker, sir, it makes some of us sad. Because counties were supposed to create opportunities to most of our businesses in Kapsabet Town, in Wote, in Homa Bay, in Migori, in Turkana, Mr. Speaker. And that is why even when we went to Turkana as public accounts, we found more than 110 billion could not be accounted for. And that is why the public accounts declared Turkana County a crime scene, Mr. Speaker. Even on the issue of subsidized fertilizer in Kakamega County, it is shrouded in secrecy. And I've seen the Senator Boni Khalwale, the astronomical and ranking member of this House, trying to raise an issue of fertilizer, Mr. Speaker, where people were being told in Kakamega is subsidized, yet the county was selling to them and misappropriating funds, Mr. Speaker. So this issue of pending bills, we must agree how to handle, Mr. Speaker. Number 4, Mr. Speaker, on the shared functions. Mr. Speaker, you are aware industrial parks were being set, where counties were supposed to give 250 million. We don't know if you reduce these amounts, where will the counties get 250 million to put in industrial parks? Mr. Speaker, another function was community health volunteers, CHVs. If you touch this money going to counties, where will you get money to pay for CHVs? Those are shared functions between national and county governments. Mr. Speaker, even on the issue of subsidized fertilizer, we had pushed. Like, for example, for us who come from farmers, predominantly farmers, we wanted to have a subsidized fertilizer program in terms of last mile distribution of fertilizer. Mr. Speaker, these are shared functions between national and county government. Today in the afternoon, Mr. Speaker, we were discussing on the establishment of disaster management authority across the country, the bill that just came from the National Assembly, Mr. Speaker. In that aspect, we have not in any way. So, Speaker, it is sweet and sour. For us who have problems, so now, for example, in Nandi, there are no developments. You heard the other day, I've been saying Nandi is the headquarters of corruption. I've been vindicated. The other day, the payroll of the county was saying there were 1,800 ghost workers. Some of them were siblings to the governor. Others were campaign soloists for him. Others were radio callers, Mr. Speaker, who hero worship cultism of the governor in Nandi, Mr. Speaker. Others were what we call court chesters and political brokers that appear that have never stepped on the duty stations of any of those. Even one of the lead soloists of his song was never vetted as a chief officer of education. But he was earning money, yet he was not a chief officer, Mr. Speaker. Even the radio callers who have been insulting Senator Cherargei for 24 hours, I didn't know they were on payroll of the county until it was exposed the other day. They hero worship the governor, and if the senator is questioning the governor on development in Nandi, you bash them the whole in the morning show of famous radio stations, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, if you have worked in a Chinese restaurant, there is a food called sweet and sour. While I want money to go to Nandi, I also feel sad that that money might not do the intended functions in Nandi County. Every senator here, including yourself from Bomet, Mr. Speaker, we want money to go to Mashinani. But we cannot see, by the way, Mr. Speaker, there is a song that says when you look outside the window, that is a reggae song, There is nothing to smile about in our counties. As we saw Kapsabet County Referral Hospital, you cannot find even Panadol, Mr. Speaker, in Kapsabet County Referral Hospital. And that is why when you are in Kapsabet town, don't think you are doing well in terms of business. There are so many chemists and pharmacists, Mr. Speaker, because there are no drugs in Kapsabet County Referral Hospital. Go to Setek, go to Maraba, go to Kobucha, Kaptumo, go to Chepterwai, come to Mosoria, go to all these health centers, Mr. Speaker. Even in Kapkangani, Mr. Speaker, there are no drugs. Yet we fight here. You can see the Senate, Senator Kajwang, and the majority leader. Everybody is animated here, wants resources to go to Makweni. But do we see value for the money that we are pushing for, Mrs. And that is why I always feel that there are two institutions that have let us down, Mr. Speaker, as I come to winding up. Is the EACC. Because, for example, Mr. Speaker, before 2020, 2021, and around 2019, there was what we call ECD cement scandal in Nandi, where there were allegations that some senior officials had participated in distributing and stealing cement, and we reported to EACC. Up to now, no one has been charged, Mr. Speaker. As we talk today, even on this expose and mega scandal of ghost workers, no one has been charged. And by the time you give somebody appointment letter, Senator Manso, and he knows this under labor relations laws, and you as a senior counsel in this country, there are minutes, there is interview, there is advertisement, there is enrolled to IPPD, Mr. Speaker. But you wake up one day and give the employee that you have terminated their services and accuse them of having irregular appointment letters. Yet you are the one who gave them those appointment letters, Mr. Speaker. That is the strategy that we are seeing in this county, Mr. And that is why I'm saying it's sweet and sour. Because we want money to go to counties, I am passionate that even Nandi should get even 20 billion per year through finance. Because I want to see maendeleo in Mashinani, Mr. Speaker. But that money goes to enrich a few county elites, Mr. Speaker. People who are becoming overnight millionaires. And that is why we are creating 47 billionaires across counties, Mr. Speaker. Because the money we allocate here, we fight hard. And you have heard, Mr. Speaker, whenever you go to Mashinani, the governor will always don't even recognize the effort of Senator Kalwale. Despite fighting that money should be, more money should be allocated to Kakamega County, for example, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, I want to challenge the EACC and DCI, and also COB, control our budget. Let us ensure the money. Mr. Speaker, you know, you and me know, the economy is not doing very well. Kenyans do not have money. We want taxes. The other day you saw the Finance Bill 2024 collapsed when GNZ decided to visit the House, Mr. Speaker. And I can see on table of clerks a number of GNCs. Mr. Speaker, when they visited and came to the Parliament, is because of the taxation finance bill, Mr. Speaker. That is the challenge that we face as a country. We cannot sit with the challenges of taxation. And I'm happy, CS Mbadi, Mr. Speaker, said the other day that the VAT will come down from 16% to 14%. Even on payee, the taxes that are meant. I don't know whether he consulted Senator Kajwang, because the son of Subanese was telling us VAT will drop from 16% to 14%. But I was shocked yesterday when Senator Kajwang, through you, Chair, demanded that we give him back to Mbadi. Yet the Subanese is trying to work hard in ensuring that he fixes the economy, Mr. Speaker, through the broad-based, Mr. Speaker. So I must admit, and I want to challenge the Finance and Budget Committee, and I can see a number of members, 3 of them, Mr. Speaker. Kindly, please, Mr. Speaker, maintain 401 billion. I have not seen your report. If you have maintained, you will be the heroes of devolution. We must defend devolution with blood and sweat. Let us cut flowers, newspapers, mandasi and chai to government offices, but not cut money that goes to counties, Mr. Speaker. Let us cut the foreign travels that we undertake, Mr. Speaker. For example, my county, the governor in the financial year, and this is control of budget report, the governor of Nandi spent 310 million in calavanting and perambulating and sightseeing through foreign and international, Mr. Speaker, travel across the world. In fact, one of them, he was attending a meeting of roads, tarmac roads in China, and I was wondering, tarmacking of roads, even counties do not have the capacity to tarmac, but he was able to attend, Mr. Speaker, in China. I was wondering, what do you go to do in China on the issues? People are discussing bitumen standards, issue of tarmacking roads, but when you see at the COB, Mr. Speaker, my governor was well-dressed attending. But he hasn't even tarmac, even have an inch of tarmac after coming back from China, Mr. Speaker. I saw another one, he went to visit to receive an award. An award that is not, I tried to Google that award, it doesn't exist, Mr. Speaker. So this calavanting, perambulating, sightseeing, Mr. Speaker, or tourist-like habit by the governors, and it is very disappointing. In fact, here in Nairobi, they were leading, I think, with 1 billion in foreign travel alone. I think 2 counties were leading. Almost 20 billion, Mr. Speaker, are used by counties for foreign travel and domestic travel. And you wonder where they are going. Some governors are visiting Jerusalem. They want to see where Jesus walked in Jerusalem, Mr. Speaker. I want to ask those governors who calavant and perambulate to go and see where Jesus was born. Let Jesus be born in our hearts if you are a Christian. That's the only way. And if you want to see whether Jesus is walking, fix the road in your neighborhood. Make sure there are drugs in your neighborhood. Make sure there are passable roads in Migori. Make sure there are bursary to the children that not go. Make sure there are ECD, Mr. Speaker. That is when you can say Jesus has been born in your heart, Mr. Speaker. But going all the way to Israel to see agriculture, yet Israel is a desert. You are living a rain-fed economy, rain-fed agriculture in Migori, and go and see in Israel, Mr. Speaker. I was shocked by the COB report on the foreign travel and local travel, Mr. Speaker. I must ask, and that is why as a parliament, and I want to ask finance and budget, increase the resources for our committees so that we visit these projects and expose for who they are. We went to Isiolo, Mr. Speaker. The headquarters are stalled, Mr. Speaker. In Kapsabet, newborn mother and baby are stalled. Kabie dairies are stalled. Kobujai Hospital, where the governor's home, where he comes from, Governor Sang, 100 meters, Kobujai Hospital is stalled. God forbid if he gets sick. Where will he get the medication? Yet it is nerealist. You go to Kapsangere. When will the helicopter arrive to ferry you away? You must need first aid. The doctor, Senator Kalwale, will tell you that you need Kapsangere, Mr. Speaker. Maraba, you will come here at Nandi Hills Sub-County Hospital, Mr. Speaker. The only thing that has been fixed by the governor is a mortuary in Nandi Hills Sub-County Hospital. So he has decided that he cannot treat us. He has decided that we go and meet the maker. That is the bad manners, Mr. Speaker, with all due respect, that we see counties. And that is why even today, as we support that more money should go to counties as by the advice of the committee, Wananchi will ask us over the weekend that why are you pushing for more money to come to counties into Ikulwe? Now, Waligula, they will tell you, you push for money, Mr. Speaker, sorry for using, I know I'm violating the standing orders. They will go and ask you, Senator Boni, why Senator Lomenen, why are you pushing for more funds? Na hiyo kazi haionekani mashinani, Mr. Speaker. That is the question we are always asked as senators. What are you doing, Mr. Speaker? Mr. Speaker, I want to assure the public, because this is the question. Many people are asking, like in Bomet, Senator, you have said so and so has been misappropriated funds. But the far we can go is to recommend. We don't have power to prosecute nor arrest. By the way, if I had power of prosecuting and arresting, I would have arrested Governor Sang long time ago. But the law does not allow. The much we can do is to recommend to EACC, to DCI, just like any other. So I want to ask the public to understand us. Unless we amend the Constitution and give Senate powers to prosecute, to arrest, and to jail, I can tell you we'll jail them for who they are, Mr. Speaker. So I want to appeal, even as we, and in fact, the issue of wage bill in conclusion, Mr. Speaker, is becoming a monster. There are counties that have 60%. But when you look at these people who have been hired, Mr. Speaker, some of them are chair carriers of the governor. Some of them carry VIP toilets for the governor, Mr. Speaker. And where you are taking VIP toilet and carrying the seats, people do not have a toilet. Like in Mosoria Township, there are no public toilets. You find our women sit the whole day without using washrooms, Mr. Speaker. And those affects the sanitary facilities. For us who come from North Rift and even South Rift, we are people of sports. When you look at Nandil Stadium, it is in pathetic state. Because Nandi is rainy, when you walk to Nandil Stadium, it is always flooded. Our young men cannot run in the morning. You go to Cherargei Stadium, Mr. Speaker. And that is the point. I will object any cutting down of resources going to counties, Mr. Speaker. Let us maintain and 1 billion, Mr. Speaker, so that our counties can get enough resources. I support with amendments. If
Senator Cherargei, your time is up. Time is up. Senator Moses Kajwang.
Mr. Speaker, I rise to oppose this amendment. And I oppose it